Okay, and today we're going to be looking at the Dawg RTA, a collaboration with Vapers MD and Asmodus. This product was sent to me for the purpose of this review. Let's go ahead and open up the package and see what it comes with. So flipping open the box, immediately we see the Dawg RTA. The color I received is stainless steel. If we take that out underneath, you're going to see you have some manuals here. Here is the specification sheet for the RTA. And then your Asmodus accessory bag is going to have the Oni coils, which are fused Claptons 0.3 ohms each. 2x26 gauge wrapped in 40 gauge nichrome 80. Very nice. I love that they include all the specifications of the coils. Flipping it over here, you can see that you have your spare O-rings, spare post screws, and underneath that you have your spare glass and your Allen key tool here tucked down on the side. So let's go over some specifications of the tank. This is primarily made of stainless steel. Its weight is 62 grams. Its size is 25 millimeters by 50 millimeters tall. And its capacity is 3.2 milliliters of e-liquid. It is a bottom airflow RTA with adjustable airflow ring here at the bottom. You have three very large airflow slots on either side, and whatever you adjust on one side, it will adjust on the other. You can close off each hole one at a time, leaving it to all the way closed, and it is on a stopper. Taking a look at the bottom there, you can see it says Dawg, the Asmodus symbol, and Vapers MD. Taking a look at that 510 pin. That 510 pin barely ever so slightly protrudes. For me personally, I would not use this on a hybrid mech mod. I just don't like that 510 pin there does not protrude very much. So again, me personally, I would not use this on a hybrid mech mod because that 510 pin does not protrude clearly for me. So here at the top you can see you do have a Delrin. Very difficult to get off here. Delrin drip tip. Let me see if I can get something around it. There we go. We got it coming. So drip tip fits really snugly in there. It is your 810 press fit drip tip. As you can see, there is an O-ring down there in the catch cup. It's got these nice little designs here around the top, making it easy for you to unscrew the top cap. Unscrewing the top cap, there you can see your two very large sized kidney shaped fill ports. Then we can go ahead and flip that over and unscrew the base to expose the build deck. So here you do have a dual postless build deck. There you can see your bottom airflow. Here, this larger block here is your positive block, and this one over here is your negative block. So you're going to be sitting your leads this way with your coils right over top of that airflow, and each wick going on either side of those airflow tubes. If we look down here at the base, you can see where the ports open up for your wicking. So when you tuck your wicking down in there, you can see there are these little juice flow ports, and that's where e-liquid is going to flow into your wicks and up to your coils. So that is a close-up of the build deck. Let's go ahead, throw some coils in it. So in case you lose the included Allen key, I strongly recommend picking up some of these little Allen drivers. The ones that I use are the Weha, and the size is going to be the 1.5 times 50, and that's just a little easy Allen driver for you. And they're really nice. I like these Allen drivers because I have never stripped a single Allen screw with them. The coils I'll be using today are by Vapaholics Anonymous, and these are going to be the fused nichrome 90 2x26 gauge wrapped in 36 gauge, ohming out to a 0.12. Using my coily tool, I'm going to go ahead and cut my leads to the 4.5 length. So now that I have my coil leads evenly cut to 4.5 millimeters using the coily tool, I'll go ahead and install my coils. So what I'm finding here is that my coils aren't quite over top of that airflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew them and just bring the coils up a little bit to try and give me some more length. Okay, so here is the build. I did go ahead and raise those coils up a little bit more so as that I could bend them over top of that airflow. I have them sitting down right over top of that airflow as close as I can get them without them touching the airflow, having the outer side of the coils lining up right there with the outer sides of that airflow chamber. I don't want the coils to go past, but I did want to bring them as close to that edge as I possibly could. So with the coily tool, you might want to consider leaving the length of the legs a 5mm instead of 4.5mm. So let's go ahead and pulse these coils and wick them up. Alright, so we've got our coils glowing nice and evenly. It's ohming out to a 0.14 after pulsing. So let's go ahead, let these cool down, wick it up, and then fill the tank. The e-liquid and cotton I'll be using today is going to be Berry Good Cookies, Baked Goods by Pillar of Clouds, and cotton threads. So the way that I'm cutting my cotton is right there even with the bottom lip of those fill ports there, as you can see. So when I bend my cotton down, I just want to bend it down right to those fill ports and snip it. And then I'm going to go ahead and thin it out a little bit. Just going to gently thin it out, make sure all of the fibers are going the same direction. Now with bottom airflow RTAs, I do recommend wicking it very tightly. Try to thin out the ends, the very ends of the cotton, the portion of the cotton that you're going to be tucking into those juice flow holes. Even when you thin them out, you still want to make sure that the ends of the cotton are filling up the hole where your e-liquid's going to be coming up, because you don't want too much e-liquid coming up and flooding that deck and possibly causing leaking. So everything's sitting nice. It's filling up the deck, but it's not stuffed in there. So I'm able to pick up the ends of my wicks and just lay it down into that little channel down there, tucking it in behind the metal ring, but still making sure that everything is kind of light and fluffy. That way there's no resistance for the e-liquid traveling up to the cotton. And wicking on an RTA can often be trial and error. If you find when you wick it, you're getting dry hits, try to go back in, re-wick it, and maybe leave your cotton a little bit shorter and just tuck it lightly in those channels. If you find it's gurgling or leaking, try lengthening your wicks or making sure that they're not as thinned out and stuffing a little bit more cotton in there. So here we go. That's what it looks like from the sides. You can see my cotton in all of those fill ports, and everything is just lightly tucked in there. So let's go ahead and prime our coils, and then we can fill up the tank. Now with this being bottom airflow and those coils being right over top, you do want to be sure that you're not dripping e-liquid straight down those airflow. Alright, so we got it primed and started. Now I'm going to go ahead and screw down the top. And there are threads on the inside, so be careful. They will catch your cotton on you. So just try to make sure that your cotton's pushed back away from those threads. And then we can go ahead and screw down the tank. And now we're ready to fill it. Really nice big fill ports here. I can just really squeeze that bottle and it takes it down. Yeah, nice smooth threads on the top cap. And there you have it, the Dawg RTA. Let's go back up top, have a vape on it, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. All right, and that was the up-close look at the Dawg RTA, a collaboration with Vapers MD and Asmodus. So what are my thoughts? Well, let's get right into the pros. First pro is going to be the fit and finish on this. The threading, the O-rings, everything about this tank was really nice, really smooth, everything very well machined and clean. Next is going to be the accessories, that you get a spare glass tube. That's a big pro. Any company that makes a tank or an atomizer that has glass, they must include a spare glass. So really big pro that they did do that. Now, next pro is going to be that it is a dual coil 25mm atomizer. So pretty much almost all mods we have out there today fit 25mm atomizers. So this is a very nice size RTA, not too small, not too big. It is a dual coil RTA, so you can really maximize your flavor and your vapor production. Now, talking about the size of the RTA, as big as this RTA is, one thing that I found that I wish there was more of is it is a 3.5 ml capacity tank. Not the smallest, it's not 2 ml, but 3.5 ml means I'm filling this tank a lot. Because it is dual coil, I am vaping it at fairly high wattage. It's 70 watts at a 0.12 ohm coil. I find that I fill this tank quite a bit. So I would have liked to see them offer a bubble glass or maybe an extension tube to bump this up to maybe 4 or 5 mLs of e-liquid. I really wish it did fit more e-liquid. Next pro is going to be the flavor and how easy it is to build on this. Now, while it is a postless deck, so there is a bit of a learning curve because you have to learn how long you leave your legs. As you saw in the down low, leaving your legs too long, you'll have to go back, take them out and clip them. Too short, and you're not going to be able to get the right coil position for the way that you want to vape. So it does have a learning curve, but I felt it was really easy to build on. Wicking on this is going to take time and learning. Just like with the building, you are going to have to learn how much cotton is too much and how little is too little. For me, the way I wicked it up, I've had no problems with leaking. I do get some condensation down in the airflow ring there a little bit, but I don't have e-liquid pouring out on me or anything like that, and I've had no dry hits. So I think I wicked it pretty well, and the flavor on it is really nice and saturated, so I'm really happy with the way it's performing there. It doesn't get too hot or anything when I'm vaping on it. It is quite a tall RTA, so I don't find that it gets too hot for me when I'm vaping on it. Keep in mind, I'm more of a low wattage vapor. I vape in the 55 to 75 wattage range, so I'm not really trying to push this too hard either. Now let's talk about a subjective con. A subjective con for this RTA is going to be that it doesn't come in a lot of colors. I believe it has 4 colors: black, silver, or stainless, gold, and blue, I believe. So only 4 color options, so some people might be a bit put off if they were looking forward to maybe getting a red or a purple or a green or whatever. But they did cover all the bases of color options, which is stainless steel, black, gold, and then they threw a blue one in there. So for you guys out there that love the color blue, they do have it in blue. Now let's talk about some legit cons that I have for this tank. So one is a nitpicky con, and that's that they didn't include a 510 drip tip adapter, and this RTA definitely can use 510 drip tip due to how much you can reduce the airflow. They have those 3 airflow slots down there, and having it cut down all the way to 1 airflow slot, I could definitely see being able to use a 510 drip tip. So the fact they didn't include an adapter was a bummer for me and kind of a nitpicky con. Now, one real con that I have for this is regarding the airflow. The airflow on this isn't the smoothest, and it's also not the quietest. So right now, my favorite position is to have 2 of the 3 air holes open. I'll go ahead and start it. Oh, the other thing is, I should have mentioned here, is the airflow ring on here isn't the easiest to adjust when it's on a mod. It is quite stiff. So can never get it set right. I wish that they'd done this airflow to where it was bumped out just a little bit and maybe clicks into place for each option, because I find that it's really hard to get my fingers on when it's on a mod and it is really tight. So here it is, wide open. Good flavor, lots of clouds, but it has a high-pitched whistle to it. And that could be due to my coil position. I'm really liking where my coils are positioned right now. I do have them kind of set up high, but right over top of that airflow. Like as far over on top of that airflow as I can get them, because I'm really getting really good flavor. That may be while I'm getting whistling. Maybe if I move those coils in away from that airflow, it might not whistle then. Let me go ahead and turn it down back to my favorite. So just 2 holes open. Slightly restricted direct lung, and it really starts to bump that flavor up. That flavor was very nice, very saturated. Really digging the flavor on this RTA. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it down to 1 hole for you guys. Really tight, restrictive direct lung, and as you could hear, that whistle really gets loud. So on 1 hole, the way that I have my coils currently positioned, I get a lot of whistling, and that whistling could be due to my coil position. Everything in my head tells me moving those coils away from that bottom airflow is going to make my flavor a little less saturated. So I don't really want to move them away. However, you may need to bend your coils away from that airflow to prevent it from whistling like that. I do detect a little bit of turbulence in it, so I kind of feel like moving your coils will not tone down that whistling that much. So that's my thoughts on the Asmodus Dawg RTA by Vapers MD. If you guys like this video, click that thumbs up. If you're not already, click that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.